Yeezy Pod shoe review. I'm actually buying a pair.
Going from survival mode my whole life to having enough money to like take my kids on vacation.
2 months ago, I ordered Kanye West's latest Yeezy shoe, the first shoe he's releasing after his split from Adidas. And finally, in the middle of February, it's here. But it came in a bag. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect from this release, but it coming in a bag wasn't on the list. So in today's video, not only am I going to unbox, or
it's
I guess
like
unbag
$20,
the Yeezy
gang.
Pod shoe, but I'm also gonna try it on. It's Philadelphia Channel 3 News. What do you think about Yeezys? And give you guys a full in-depth review of this brand new shoe from Kanye West. So I think the actual date that I pre-ordered this shoe was December 15th. After months of waiting, I finally got a shipping notification last week. However, the tracking number that they sent me didn't work, so I didn't know when to expect these shoes. And after I got back from the golf trip, I opened my mailbox, and there they were. They actually shipped them USPS, which is not the shipping method that I expected. I also didn't expect them to come in a bag, though, to be fair. But inside the first bag, we've got a second bag. Essentially what looks like a black dust bag. Is there anything else inside here? We've got a receipt. Forgot I paid $200 for these. I paid $200 for a pair of socks, which is crazy. Now, I own a sock company called Apothecary, which, by the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, we make the best socks ever. They go great with all the sneakers in your collection, and they're only 15 bucks. Super comfortable, super breathable, and I'm gonna try them on with these Yeezy Pod shoes. So if you guys wanna check out the Apothecary socks and grab a pair of socks that's gonna last you a long time, look great, and not cost $200, make sure to click the link on your screen and in the description below. With that being said, let's check out the brand new Yeezy Pod shoes, which are essentially a pair of socks. So I really have no idea what to expect here. It smells a little bit like glue, which would make sense, because I think he just glued on like a rubber outsole to a sock. It's tied together with drawstrings, long drawstrings. There's no branding on the outside of the bag. All right. Essentially what this is a pretty thick neoprene feeling sock with a rubber outsole, or at least a two-part rubber outsole that seems to be held together by, I guess, an insole of some kind? Is there an insole in there? It kind of feels like there is, but it feels like it's glued down. According to the outsole, it's made in Italy, so maybe that's why it took 2 months to get to me, because I had to make it. I bet that's exactly why. Okay, I guess let's try these on. All right, I gotta be honest. This is the weirdest try-on experience I've ever done on the channel. I'm trying on a pair of socks on top of my socks. Which, to be fair, maybe you're not supposed to wear them with socks.
Yeah,
maybe these
you're
are the
not
socks
supposed to wear them with
to wear.
socks.
But for right now, I'm rocking them with my Apothecary socks, which again, linked to the top of the screen. Best socks ever. We'll find out how they stack up to the Yeezy Pod shoes. I really have no idea what to expect here. I also don't know exactly how to wear these. Are you supposed to wear them over your pants, under your pants? I'm not sure. What? This is the most absurd feeling thing. Oh, don't like that. And I'm not being biased. I'm really not. It's so weird. All right, so I'm trying to describe how this feels on my feet right now. It feels like I'm wearing a pair of socks with like two circular foam pads sort of stuck to the bottom of them, and they don't really land in the right place on my feet. Like my heel's fine, my heel's right on the back heel pad thing, but my forefoot, like it isn't far enough up. It's Philadelphia Channel 3 News. What do you think about Yeezys? You like them? Yeah, this is a really weird feeling. The pads, though, they do feel soft. Softer than I would have expected, because they did look like rubber when I was like, I guess unboxing them or unbagging them. But they do feel like they have some give to them. Like they feel more like foam than like rubber, which I guess is good. But the placement of them sucks. So I think the problem is that there's only 3 sizes of the Yeezy Pods. There's a 1, 2, and a 3. I grabbed a size 2 because I'm a size 9, and size 2 I think ranges from size 9 to size 10.5. So each number covers like 2.5 sizes. So I'm definitely at the low end of size 2. I wonder if I should have gone with size 1, but that was 6.5 to 8.5. So that's like pretty tight, I would think. Okay, let me take these off, try them on as just socks by themselves without Apothecary socks on. See if that makes a difference. Not thinking it will, but it might. I'm not gonna show you guys this though, because I feel like you gotta pay for that kind of content. Actually,
wow.
I do wanna show you guys really quickly. These are weird to take off. Like they're not like regular socks because they've got the rubber on the outsole. Yeah, that was weird. You know, I'm also interested to find out whether these get hot the more that you wear them, because they're not like regular sock material. They're not like Apothecary socks that are super breathable. They're some sort of like really tight knit material that feels, I don't know, kind of weird. Okay, let me take off my socks and try these guys on again. Ooh, no. Definitely want to wear these with socks. The insole or whatever it is feels like really weird and like foamy. It's not like a regular insole. Like some shoes you can wear without socks, which I wouldn't recommend, but you can wear some shoes without socks. And like they have more of a fabricy insole. This is more of like a, like a very smooth, like neoprene feeling insole. I'll actually turn the socks inside out and show you guys what I mean, but they're also a lot looser too. I think because I don't have the socks sort of filling them out a little bit, but yeah, in my opinion, I would not wear these without socks, because this is not it, dog. I feel like I look stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a pair. They're only like $20.
What is this? All right, so I'm gonna wear these around for the rest of the day, come back tonight and give you guys my full unfiltered review of these shoes and let you guys know whether they're worth $200, which sounds crazy because you can buy sock shoes on Amazon for $20. They don't actually even say Yeezy on them either. anywhere. So if branding is your thing, you might not like these. All right, so I've worn these guys for the last 5 or 6
can't
hours.
use that
I'm
name,
ready
I
to give you
think.
guys my initial review. And after this review, I'm gonna throw these guys back on and wear them every single day for the next week, and then give you guys an updated review after wearing these guys for a full week. So if you guys wanna see that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys can be notified right when that video drops. But man, these guys are, they're something.
Oh,
They're
I thought that was the end of the
designer
video.
shoe. That's basically a sock with rubber glued on the outsole. That being said, there is a little bit more to the Easy Pods than just that. And I've got to be honest, as much as I don't see myself rocking these on a regular basis after filming this review in the next video, I have to give it to Kanye. No matter what you think about him, he is truly a visionary when it
I ain't
comes
never had
to
no
footwear.
Yeezys.
Now, obviously,
Like,
some
these the
things are more
only
successful than
Yeezys
others, and
that
I
I could
honestly
get,
can't tell you
so-
whether these are going to be wildly popular or literally no one's going to wear them. I have no idea. But Kanye West literally always pushes the envelope when it comes to fashion. And for me, it's always exciting to check out a new pair of Yeezys because I literally never know what I'm going to get. And as insane as these shoes are, I haven't been this excited about a sneaker review in a long time. So I know we already covered sizing earlier on in the video, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into that because I think there's a couple more nuances that I didn't really notice until I tried the shoes on for a longer period of time. First of all, sizing is not perfect on these, and that's because there are only 3 different sizes available for like 12 different foot sizes. So like I mentioned earlier, I grabbed a size 2, which ranges from size 9 to size 10.5. I am a true size 9, and I will say that this pair fit me a little bit big. Would a size 1 have fit me better? I don't know, because it goes from size 6 to size 8.5, and again, I'm a size 9, so maybe. It wasn't overly loose, but I found as I wore them throughout the day, the pods on the bottom of the shoe would sort of move around on the bottom of my feet. While the heel pod did generally stay underneath my heel, the 4-foot pod moved around a decent amount. And there was a lot of instances where I'd kind of have to like pull the sock up a little bit tighter on my foot to get my toes to come close to the front of the shoe and not be like here on the foot, which I'm not gonna lie was frustrating, but at the end of the day, this is, I mean, literally a sock. Oh no, can you even see the shoes in the monitor? I gotta go change my hoodie really quick because this is not gonna work for the review. All right, we should be good now. It's funny because usually when I review black sneakers, even with a black hoodie, you can see them because there's like a shoe there with different materials and different textures and things like that. The color and the material and the finish was so similar to my hoodie, you literally couldn't make it out in the camera. So I was realizing you guys probably didn't even see what I was talking about. Sorry about that. But getting back into sizing, because I don't really have a frame of reference for these shoes because I only have one size, I would suggest going with the size that they recommend on the website, Yeezy.com, mainly because there's probably a reason why they have the sizing that way. And I think for most people, if you go with the size that they recommend, you should be okay. Obviously, for the people whose feet are on the lower end of the range of that specific size, that's super complicated to say, but I hope you guys understand what I mean. You will have a lot of room in the shoe. I can't speak towards the higher end of the range, like say if I was a size 10.5 or even a size 11 trying to slide my foot into here. I don't know how that would feel, but I will say it did stay on my foot. It's not like it was sliding off my foot, but there was definitely some movement of the pods underneath my feet. And it could just be that these are sock shoes, and that's just how they are. But I'm sure it's worse for the smaller end of the range for each size. Before I got these shoes in, one thing that I was really interested in is how high they sort of rest on your leg. And I wore these with a pair of shorts just to show you guys what it looks like. Looks awful with shorts. Don't ever wear these with shorts, but that's about how high they go. There you go, frame of reference. Man, I don't know how to wear these. These are so different from anything else that I have in my sneaker collection. For me personally, I was wearing these shoes with socks the entire time because I found that they fit me better with a pair of socks on. Maybe because my feet got a little bit bigger with a pair of socks on. There are also other reasons why I was wearing these guys with socks that I'll get into a little bit later on in the video, but either way, if you're grabbing these, I would recommend wearing them with socks, even if it's just for sizing. But now let's get into the materials that make up the Yeezy Pod shoes. And as you guys can see, the upper of the shoe is constructed like a sock. In fact, even the way that the knitted seams come together around the heel of the shoe is like a sock. There's an area around the heel of the shoe where the knit gets a little bit looser, and as you wear it, it kind of expands and you can see through the shoe a little bit, kind of like an older pair of socks. I will say with my tan socks, it didn't look great, but with black socks, it probably would cover up that whole area, which also might be a weak point in the shoe. If you caught that in anything, that would probably be the area that would be most likely to rip. Obviously, it's around your heel, so it's not going to be catching on that much, but at the end of the day, it's a sock. So socks tear. That being said, the knit material on the shoe definitely seems thicker than a standard pair of socks. I was calling it neoprene earlier. It's definitely not neoprene. It's just a very smooth knit. It kind of has that neoprene feel because it's kind of, I wouldn't call it springy, but it feels almost like it's padded. And when you compare it to a standard pair of socks in terms of breathability, especially an apothecary sock, it's definitely not as breathable. When I was testing breathability, I was just wearing this on my foot and not a pair of socks. I mean, obviously it's more breathable than a standard pair of shoes, but it's not as breathable as a standard pair of socks. An interesting detail on the shoe is actually the top of the sock that sort of naturally rolls over itself. There's no cuff. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a raw edge, but it's definitely a very thin edge. And because of the way that it's done, it rolls and it kind of creates its own sort of natural cuff. Now, even though though from the outside of the shoe it looks like the entire upper is made up of this knit material, if you flip things inside out, which is not the easiest in the world, you'll find this thin
I wonder how
fuzzy
the
liner
grip
which looks like
is.
it was heat pressed onto the heel of the shoe and also the footbed of the shoe, which should actually help with heel comfort and durability, which is definitely a good thing. And that same material covers the entire footbed where your foot rests. It's a material that when I wore this shoe without
Mike, can you
socks,
play
it did get a
basketball
little bit
in
sweaty
them?
after like 30 minutes, and
know?
I didn't love it, but when you wear it with socks, it feels fine. Running the entire length of the shoe, you've got this pretty thin foam insole, or I guess footbed, and it actually feels about as thin as a standard insole. Now that foam padding is glued or maybe sewn into the inside of the sneaker. It's probably not sewn actually, it might just be glued or heat pressed. But then glued onto the outside of the shoe, you've got these two rubber pods, one on the heel and one on the forefoot. Now of course, these pods are where the shoe gets its name, the Yeezy Pod Shoe, because of the pods. And they come in this sort of sparkly graphite gray rubber, which actually looks pretty nice and surprisingly premium. The traction pattern is just these horizontal lines which are molded into the shoe, and while they themselves don't provide that much traction, the actual rubber compound that they use in the bottom of the shoe is pretty non-slip. I was actually really surprised how well this gripped the ground, a lot of different ground types like hardwood, tile, concrete, grass. I didn't slip at all, which is pretty amazing. You can't say that about a lot of other sneakers. On the forefoot pod, you've got the words made in Italy, and then on the heel pod, you've got these two dots, which I would assume represents the sizing of the shoe. I haven't seen another pair in person though, so I don't know for sure. Actually, if you own a pair of these in a different size, like a size 1 or a size 3, let me know in the comment section down below if you got 1 dot, 3 dots, or if I'm wrong and every pair comes with 2 dots. But now let's talk about comfort of the Yeezy Pod shoes. And the way that these felt on my feet were kind of like the way that I would think a pair of barefoot shoes would feel with an insole in them. There was a little bit of padding underneath my foot, but not a lot. I have very high arches, and this shoe had absolutely no arch support whatsoever. In fact, it almost had negative arch support. So I found that after wearing this for like 6 hours, my arches were kind of hurting, which is weird because I walk around in bare feet all the time. My arches are fine. I don't know exactly what was going on with this, but it didn't feel great after a long period of time. But hey, if you don't really need arch support, you should be just fine in this shoe. It shouldn't be uncomfortable for you. It just feels like you're walking on a very thin insole. Oh, right, and you've also got 2 pods underneath your feet. Definitely a weird experience that you might have to try to understand. The only thing I could think is if you glued 2 rubber pods to the bottom of a pair of socks and put an insole in there, it might feel very similar. I haven't tried that, but that's what I would assume. The actual knit on the upper, though, was very soft, very stretchy. Not the most breathable in the world, but not bad. I mean, it kind of feels like an NMD City sock, if you guys remember those from like 2017. One unique selling point of this shoe that they show off a bunch on the website is that you can fold these up very easily and I guess travel with them pretty easily, which is a good thing if you're looking for small shoes to travel with. Smaller than really any other pair of shoes in my collection. So yes, the Yeezy Pod shoes are wild. This is the most insane pair of shoes that I've bought in a very long time. And unfortunately, the main sticking point for me on these guys isn't the actual looks of them or the feel of them, it's the price point. If this was like a $40 thing, I wouldn't be mad at it. Now I understand that the materials used on this shoe are probably very premium. I'm sure creating the molds for this shoe and probably even the rubber compound that they're using is not cheap. I bet that the knit that they use on the upper of the shoe is also not cheap. The insole, I don't know how expensive that can be, but it's probably a more expensive insole than most insoles used in shoes. I mean, it's still something that probably cost, I don't know, 20 bucks to make max. That's probably very high. Maybe 40 to cover mold costs, I don't know. But $200 seems excessive for a pair of socks with some rubber outsoles glued on. Then again, this is kind of a designer shoe. I mean, look at the Balenciaga sock shoes. They're pretty similar. They're the same general upper with an outsole glued on the bottom. So in that sense, while I still don't think the price is justified, it does make a little bit more sense, I guess. So is the Yeezy Pod shoe worth it? In my opinion, no, absolutely not. But hey, if you love Kanye West, or you love sock-looking shoes, or you love spending $200, this is a great way to go. And like I said, I'm gonna be wearing the shoe for a week straight, so make sure to stay tuned for that video when it drops next week. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. So first driving review, 5 out of 10. Style-wise, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it looks like you're like, not saying barefoot. I mean, no shoes. Oh, they're $20 now. Bruh. Yeah, they'll, I hope, he knows, like, he can get him, like, his, won 80 back. Hope he knows that. Nobody telling him? He gotta know. Hopefully, you know. Hopefully,